All kind of people should get together. With small kind of people should get together and talk to each other.
Good evening. This is Positive Choices, and I'm Empty Love. Today we're going to have Miss Nellie. She's going to show her artifacts, and since she has been around for a long time and she has a lot of history to give, we're going to see her we're going to see her artifacts, and we're going to enjoy them for Black History Month.
My name is Nellie McKay. I live at 2645 3rd Avenue, Bronx 10451, right in the middle of the Bronx, downtown Bronx, as we said. I'm here this morning to demonstrate some of these items that some of the people had never seen. Maybe they have seen them and don't want to talk about them. First, we have a coffee grinder. This was the coffee grinder. That was back in the days. This is very old. You grind the coffee, and the coffee fell down in this little tray, and you poured it out, and you made coffee. This item is a meat tenderizer. That's what they use in the days. This is a hammer, and I have to reach over to get the horseshoe. Had to put this on the horseshoe before he could walk, because if he didn't have this horseshoe on, then the splinters or whatever he stepped on, rocks, would get into the horse's foot. This is the old hatchet. It's very, very old, maybe 100 years old. We use this to cut the chicken's head off. So we called Feed the Chicken, had a lot of corn in the yard, and we look and get the fattest chicken. Then we chopped the chicken's head off and had hot water. We plucked the chicken, and that's what we had. It's fried. I either made dumplings or baked or roasted chicken. This is the old scales. I don't have the tray, but the way the babies on the tray. They put the tray in and put these scales on to see how much the baby weighed in those days. This pot is kind of heavy, but we cook the beans, collard greens, all kinds of veggies in this pot. And oh, when you had those greens, that was some good greens. We never had sodas in plastic bottles. They always came in a glass. This is a very old bottle. It's called RC. This, we weigh scales, weigh cotton. I picked 1,000 pounds of cotton, and it tells you how much cotton it weighed. And it was hung up on something very sturdy. The stove, this pot, sat on the stove. It was a hot, large stove, and the pot sat on it. That's how we cooked our vegetables. Or sometimes they hung up the pot up in the fireplace. But we mostly used the stove, and the coal fell out of this little tray, and we had 10. So if 5 coals fall out, the house wouldn't catch a fire. It's what they used for rolling baked biscuits in those days. This is a cowbell, and they had this that they use to, when they make a coconut cake or lemon meringue pie, to beat the eggs. Also, this is another scale they hung up, and they also use this weighing the baby and the cotton. And this bell, when the teacher do, every student was silent. No one talked. But I guess they don't use them these days. This is where the rich people struck the match and put the ashes in here. This, you put your potatoes in, and you mash the potatoes, come through these holes. Here is where the twine, where the rich man wanted a piece of twine, he cut it off. Where the black man had to take the whole ball and he used a knife or scissors to cut it. This is a shoelace that you sewed your shoes. It's a half a shoelace, but you can still see how we sewed the shoes in those days. This is also the tenderized the meat. This knife I brought it from the South. This is what they used in the days. This straightening comb, Madam Walker was the richest black woman in the world. She invented the straightening comb. And this is coal. I'm going to take the coal out because maybe the people have never seen coal. This is what coal looked like. And when you put it in the stove, it cracks, it breaks up. And then we made a fire and we used the stove. This here is a nutmeg. You had whole nutmeg. We didn't have the powdered nutmeg. You had the whole nutmeg and you grated on this little grater. Is anything else? Oh, this is a crowbar. They used it. And also I have the hay rack. As we pick up hay, and that rack over there, we take it and pick the hay up and put it on the wagon. So I think that's all on this table. This here is a stamper that you get these days if you get a degree. It's a silver, but this is white. This here is 63 years old. And here, how the children, in 1900, in the South, the children went to school. When they got old enough to work, the master took them out of school and put them in the field. And this is what they used for putting cotton in. We used the 6 or 8 foot other bags. But this is what the children used, picking cotton in those days. So the children here in New York see that the children in the South had a hard time, and that means they should stay in school and get the education, and most of all, listen to the parents. And I think this is it here. Oh, this is one thing. This is what the judge used in court. He had this. They use it in court for when he's gonna send someone to prison. He hit his desk, and everyone's quiet. And I think these are the bells that people use. And we also use the bell to call the cows and ring them, and the cows would come running because it's time for to feed the cows. And we also had goats. And in my day, my father kept a double-barrel shotgun loaded and over the door. And that gun was for killing possum and groundhogs and squirrels that we could have. All the groundhog tastes like duck. My mother would boil the groundhog, take out all the wild strings, and just boil it until it's real tender. She made her own barbecue sauce, and she barbecued it, and then put sweet potatoes around it. And that was a feast. Squirrel was fried. Rabbit, we had fried rabbit for breakfast, and gravy and biscuits and molasses. And we put the butter in the molasses and just whip it like you was beating eggs until it's white, and then you put it over your biscuits. And I think this is about it in this room. We have this is a pick.